Is that chanting coming from you, Magic Dungeons and Dragon Dice? Look under the cupboard. Okay, whatever you say. Alright, I'm here. Wait, what's that? Is that? Oh, damn. Oh, it is the Homestuck Everlocks. Great, so you're telling me to make, a video on Homestuck? No? No? Oh, okay, You're telling me to make a video on Okay, I like where you're going. So, I'm gonna make a video on Undertale, and I know the exact thing I'm gonna make it about. So, the idea is, the final bosses of the game, all interconnected by one common theme. The theme is that they contradict everything about the game. Yep, that's the theme. And I just want to show in this video how intelligent Toby Fox is and how much of a great game designer he is, because it's sick, trust me. So keep watching, because this is just the intro, so I'll see you in a minute. Bye. Undertale. Pretty good game, huh? Well, I may think so, but the average internet goer may disagree. You see, Undertale shone among the indie titles in its year of release due to how unique it was, and because of the rapid rise in popularity it had garnered a fandom. Now, I'm positive there are many videos on the matter of Undertale's fandom here on YouTube that you can watch in your own time. But I'm not here for what ruined the public perception of a widely agreed great game. Instead, I'm here to tell you how intelligent Toby Fox is with the design of his final bosses. So, sit back, relax, and get ready. Today I will hopefully teach you something new about this game that we all know and love. Now, before we begin, what is Undertale? Apart from an indie game released in 2015, widely considered to be a gaming milestone, it is, at its core, an RPG where you fight monsters and try to escape to your home. But in reality, it is a lot more than that. It is an RPG that tests you. As a person, it tests your moral compass, your level of empathy, your ability to become attached to characters that would be considered easy experience, and bond with them. That is why, at its core, Undertale is about you as a player. Now, Undertale's mechanics. Your greatest ally in this game is the spare option. This allows you to give up fighting instead of killing the person and befriend them as a result. You see, normally nobody would care for a boss mob and consider it easy experience to gain for more health, gold and items, but in Undertale it's different. Before you fight the boss, you are given moments with them to gain a greater understanding or care for them as a deeper character, making you question your actions and begin to feel more empathetic towards them. Therefore, this is why you are rewarded with the true ending if you do not kill anything at all. It rewards you not killing. This is fundamental to the game's ideology, and that is why it's so clever that the final bosses of the game are complete opposites of this. You see, Asgore is our first example of this structure. He is technically not the final boss, but I'm going to group him in here anyhow, since he technically is the thing standing between you and leaving the underground. So, what makes him fit into this video? Asgore throughout the entire game is presented as a big, fuzzy pushover. That is genuinely a line from Papyrus, who also refers to Asgore as King Fluffy Boy. King Fluffy Buns, Dr. Friendship and Mr. Dreamy are also aliases he is labelled by from some of the main characters such as Dr. Alphys. In fact, Undyne suggests that talking with him and resolving over a nice cup of tea would be enough for Asgore, and he would let you pass through the barrier. The Monster Child recalls the story of how Asgore went to his school to teach lessons, and Undyne tells the story of how she trained with Asgore, and he would purposefully lose to make her feel better. Asgore, when he meets you, is even planting flowers in his garden and having a jolly time. In fact, the only person to warn you about him is Toriel in an offline. They, Asgore, will kill you. She knows him best, but the temptation of a crowd opinion is enough for the player. In reality, when you fight Asgore, he is merciless. He destroys the spare option with his trident and goes all out. You are forced to fight if you were running with Pacifist. This is a total and dramatic tonal shift. You get your hopes up for an easy ending and such, but here you are, jaws dropped. You can't flee, spare, talking does minimal work, and you're faced with a mechanic that you're unable to control. The fight feature. I'm referring to Pacifist route only here, as in neutral you are most likely fighting. See, Toby purposefully makes us think lesser of Asgore to totally throw out the window what we thought and display how this man's inner desire for vengeance and bloodthirst and above all else loss overwhelms him. Asgore is a broken man who despises humans. Of course he would want to murder us, but due to intentional misdirection, we as the player are inclined to believe that Asgore will pose no threat or challenge, even when the facts are right in front of us. But now let's speak about mechanics. Asgore destroys your spare option and forces you to fight him head on. This contradicts the game's philosophy of not killing should be rewarded. That is what makes it so interesting. It suggests that inevitably there will always be one thing standing in your way that you cannot spare. That this pacifism is flawed and fundamentally impossible to achieve without causing some damage. But in the end, that isn't really pacifism, is it? Sans. We have to talk about Sans. I mean, how can we not? He is the most iconic character in Undertale. He made it to Smash, goddammit. His theme song is the most iconic theme song in all of gaming history, and the list goes on. But we're not here for that side of Sans. We're here to fit him into this narrative that I'm trying to build. See, similar to Asgore, Sans is the polar opposite to how he acts. In reality, he knows far more than he is letting on, and seems to be mentally scarred from what he has previously experienced. Sans is broken, just as Asgore is. Instead of despising humans, he despises the evil buried deep within them. This actually reminds me of Sigmund Freud's personality theory. Undertale may link into that theory too, actually. Back to Sans. I don't want to lose myself into a tangent. Sans is a goofy, pun-spitting layabout who cares nothing for his job and instead of actually working, makes hot dogs and fucks around a bunch. But on the other side, Sans is an ultra-powerful being who can ascend past time and space. You would have been dead where you stand. If it wasn't for Toriel, he would have killed you on sight. But now onto his boss fight. Sans is best described as the arbiter of the underground, and he proves that role by passing you through his judgment. In the genocide route, he battles you. I could go into a whole other video about how Sans' speech during his fight is amazing, but I won't. Sans, the goofy and lazy slacker, is able to dodge your every slash. He is agile and has quite the dexterity for a skeleton monster that gets no exercise and eats at Grillby's every half an hour. Sans is a lot deeper than you were brought to believe, which is intentionally done by Toby to create an air of mystery around Sans. Sans too, in his fight, displays that his pool of knowledge stretches to the reaches of your own about the game saving and reloading data. He may still be learning, but he is mentally stronger than any other enemy you faced.
This big
Toby
brain.
once again subverts our expectations by making us believe a character is a certain way, when they are in fact a total opposite to that. Now onto the mechanics of Sans and his boss fight. Sans dodges. You can only beat Sans while he is too tired. His ultimate attack is not one that decimates your HP, instead it is to do absolutely nothing. This not only goes against everything the boss battle has been about, but the entire route as well. The genocide route sees all but 2 bosses slain in one hit. Undyne with raw determination and Sans with the ability to dodge can survive your onslaught. The thing is, hacking and slashing is the key to genocide, and when slashing becomes totally useless, the boss has once again gone against everything the ideology of this route of the game follows. Sans also goes against the game's morals too. Even if you are too far gone, say you want to spare him, not even that will work. This once again displays that once you encounter somebody that cannot be persuaded, pacifism is flawed, even if it is ideal. But say you loaded a different timeline. Say it was one where you weren't a murderous psychopath. Instead you were sweet, gentle, and spared. Then what? Hold on a minute! Oh, Omega Flowey, how you contradict everything about Undertale, up until one point. Flowey hates you, personally. Like we've seen in the past 2 bosses, Asgore hates humans and Sans hates what humans symbolise. Therefore, the third and final boss in Flowey hates you specifically. Your mere existence confuses him, it conflicts with his powers of game manipulation, and for once he's not in control, and he doesn't like that. He needs the power of 6 souls to overpower your determination and form the ultimate being. So, since we have clearly defined 2 subversion methods through boss mechanics and the setup of a character, why don't we look at the latter? Flowey in this game is presented as an evil, maniacal and mustache-twirling villain who claims he will become the prince of this new world. In the end, he is merely a soul without emotions, trapped in a flower. He is, in the words of Caterino,
and I was very lost and confused.
Flowey is still the child monster at heart, who just wants to be reunited with his dead sibling. Now also consider that Flowey knows a whole damn lot about the saving and loading features, and even uses them to his advantage. He hides this knowledge at first, but openly expresses it in the endgame. In fact, Flowey shows more comfort in informing Kara of his powers in the genocide route. Flowey knowing so much about the game being a game makes him much more linked to Sans too. They're both cosmic beings that ascend past the boundaries of the 4th wall. I'm not going to go MatPat though, but I imagine you see where I'm going with this misdirection thing. So, next point. How does Omega Flowey contradict pacifism like both Sans and Asgore seem to do? Well, let's look at the overall gimmick of the boss battle. It's bullet hell. And bullet hell is typically a style of fight to instill rage and bitterness in the player. But it's not just the crazy spamming attacks that helps Flowey link in here. He reloads the game save to infuriate you further, but also to prove that there is truly no escape and that sparing does nothing. You have to fight this wicked and vile monster. But of course, this flawed pacifism theory must be contradicted, since we can spare Flowey. Well, no. To get to this point, you've had to brutally scar and injure Flowey's physical being. I mean, look at the guy. That face is evidence that reasoning and your little friendship shtick aren't perfect. Some kind of pain must be inflicted to get where you want to be. Asriel is a massive obstacle for us in this flawed pacifism theory. I mean, he literally needs to be saved, not spared, not mercy, but something way above any that's gained XP can do. But Asriel himself embodies the reason pacifism is flawed. Us humans will never understand pacifism and love like monsters do, and this utopia of everyone being friends is completely false. Is Asriel really an obstacle here? Or does he help us? Asriel, when he was a child, was killed by the humans, who mistakenly took him for a killer of the original fallen child. They attacked him with full force, and his dust scattered across the very flowers the child fell upon and consumed, which led to their death. Kinda poetic in a way. But if you're following, you can tell the humans are the reason for Asriel's wrath. So if it weren't for the pure evil of humanity and the resulting death that ensued, Asriel wouldn't be like this. And yeah, that may answer why humans are massive arseholes, but why does he contradict pacifism? Well, that's all I really had. Okay, I'll give it a shot. So, Asriel absorbs all the monsters and human souls and feels their souls beating as one, and then there's a big heartfelt scene where he opens the barrier. This is a beautiful scene and it tugs on all the heartstrings. But even with all this power, Asriel will revert back to the soulless husk of a flower, once again being fragile and emotionless. So, how does this battle contradict pacifism? Well, the upbeat hopes and dream theme subverts into this dark and grisly theme. I can't remember it off the top of my head. The appearance of Asriel and his hypergona are terrifying. I feel like their designs are overlooked. Their teeth, their horns, the dark black eyes, making Asriel appear very demonic. Yes, I know he's the child of the goats, but relation does not exactly equal the drive for thematic representation. Not to mention Asriel's final attack should be the end of you. If it wasn't for your determination, then you'd be dead. Well, there's kind of a blend of him wanting to kill you and reduce you to nothingness, and subconsciously not wanting to. So everything about Asriel contradicts pacifism, and it puts your actions into question. So, did you do the right thing? If so, like, subscribe with post notifications on. It's totally free and is done by the... Okay, I'm kidding. This is the conclusion. I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope you like, subscribe with post notifications on. Remember, it is totally free. A majority of you aren't even subscribed who are watching this video, and it helps me out a lot. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know for a fact I enjoyed making it. The themes of Undertale and Toby Fox's intelligence when it comes to devising characters are something we all need to take a closer look at and learn from if we're trying to make our own games. Anyway, I hope this video served its purpose and you took something new away from it about this game that we both know and love. The appearance